of Woodstock's biggest gems, Woodland Cove. It's a peaceful neighborhood that's close to trails, restaurants, and everything that makes Woodstock shine. Plus, a look at upcoming Veterans Day events and fall fun around town. I'm Céline Evans.
And I'm Chris Evans.
And this is Georgia Living Podcast.
If you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're always notified when you get new updates of the show. Céline, we've had a pretty eventful week. It seems like the weather is changing. The fall is here. What's going on around the house lately?
It's so much to where we're even recording this in the afternoon. We usually do it in the morning, but there is so much going on.
There is. It's much busier this time of year than what we're normally faced with.
It seems like every day there's something after school, every day that there's something at school, or something to shop for school. It's never ending, isn't it?
Not just that, but couple the normal seasonal activities that we all have to do with a very active real estate market right now. So normally this is the time of year where we get to kind of relax around the house, get caught up on some home projects because...
One year, a long time ago, you took up woodworking.
I did. Yeah. Right around like October, November, I think it was 2014 or 15, I used to do woodworking in the winter because I had so much free time. I would spend all day like down in the shop until a call came in on a listing, and then I'd answer it and get back to work.
Yeah.
But this year we're seeing, maybe it's because our summer had a really depressed August. We saw fewer sales than we have in the past. So maybe we're just seeing a steady market, but it seems like we've been very busy. And part of that busyness, it's productive, but we're going to talk about one of the neighborhoods as our spotlight today, Woodland Cove, because we have an upcoming listing in that neighborhood, and it's a real hidden gem. So I think that there's going to be a lot to talk about there and things to maybe get your mind moving and turn those cogs about where you want to be and what you like in a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But you've done some decorating around the house. I know that you and the kids have spent quite a bit of time at Dollar Tree lately. They really loved it.
I really like the dollar store. It's no longer $1. It's like $1.25. It's variable now. Variable rate store. Can we call it that?
I think that's a good point.
$1.25.
Nothing's $1 anymore.
And then they have $5 items there. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that just be Five Below?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, possibly. But, either way, it's one of the few places you can go and still get a decent amount of stuff under $10.
Yeah, and when you have children who touch everything and pretty much break everything that is shiny or a little bit whimsical, they want to hold it, and then, they break it apart. So I've decided that, we're just going to decorate with knickknacks here and there that we find because really it's just about being festive. It's not about you have to have the highest quality bat decoration.
No, it's all going to get destroyed anyway.
Yeah. So I went with you, and I do believe that we were trying to get items together for librarian appreciation that we're going to be doing in January.
That's something for school.
So, yeah. No, it's for Children of the American Revolution.
Oh, that's CAR?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be making goodie bags for librarians, and then we decided that, hey, why not go to the dollar store, because they actually do have some really decent things there, and they also sell candy that we needed to get.
And we got a lot of it.
Yeah. Too
much.
Yeah. Name brand and everything. So on top of that, we saw decorations, and I did get a bat, 2 of them. 2 bats,
some cobwebs.
We're talking about it's the feeling, not the amount that...
Yeah, well, here's, I think, our little house hack and what makes it very easy for you to decorate our house. Our house is already decorated. like year round, it feels like you're walking into a showroom because Céline has taken so much attention to detail throughout the house. Our living room is set up very Victorian style. We've got an 1800s sewing machine as our focal point.
It doesn't feel stuffy though, or dusty.
No, I mean our walls are green. The ceiling is the same color green, just a different shine. So it's a high gloss on the ceiling, so the light reflects off of it. And then you've gone through and put artwork up and painting and decor and accents. So you can actually go to Dollar Tree, spend $10 on 6 or 7 little festive things, put it up in the living room, and the whole living room looks like it's designed for that holiday.
I know why. So in going to a lot of people's homes, because we've listed a lot, we've sold a lot as well. Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed was that, am I not?
That needs to be.
Now?
Yeah, it's better when it's closer.
All right. So one thing I did notice was that people decorate with stuff
all the time.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of stuff is they're decorating because their walls are white or they are
lacking artwork.
Any type of, it's just a solid. So take like a poster paper, right? That's your wall. Then you have to decorate with stickers and all that type of stuff, like decorations and knickknacks. But if you already have a decorated piece of paper that's not white or just monotone color and has some decorations, all you have to do is put a little bit of accents on, right?
Yeah, so really all you have to do is the accents to change the feeling of the house from one season to another.
The one thing that I really like that did not cost any money was your idea of letting the flowers die. That was wonderful.
For Halloween, we had earlier this month, I bought, some seasonal flowers. They were all autumn colors. But as we're approaching Halloween, some of them were starting to wilt. You put up the decor. I said, just let them all die and be a part of the decor. And they've really, it feels like, you're walking into a haunted house a little bit.
It belongs there.
Yeah.
Like the droopy flowers. And of course I took the water and the little pebbles from the container out.
Yeah.
So it's just air. But yeah, I thought that was great.
So with the changing of the seasons, I know I'm just being from Massachusetts, autumn, fall, this is like my time of year.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we grew up and the Pilgrim story was huge for us because I grew up 40 minutes from Plymouth Rock. What is your favorite thing about fall, Céline?
Good question. I'm not an apple cider person like you are.
Okay.
Really don't care too much about the donuts. I like eating apples.
Okay.
That's about it. Now, Thanksgiving, it definitely has a special place because I am part Pilgrim, right? If you go far back enough, there are people who came over from England in the 1620s, and my family, the direct family, my maiden name as well. But I don't think I've had that much of it's not like where you grew up because we're not that close. We're in Georgia, right? We're so far away from Plymouth Rock. And although it is a big deal here as well, it doesn't go unnoticed, but it's also not like Gone with the Wind for Georgia.
Well, I got to say that, I think there's a lot about fall that I love, pretty much everything. One of my favorites, though, is now it's the time where we're using the fireplace. Just having that fireplace on in the morning, in the evening, cuddling up. Last night we were relaxing watching The Great North, which Claire loves that show on Fox. We're now on season 3 because of the time we've spent in Alaska. So we're cuddled up on the couch in the basement. We got the fireplace open. I got some of the windows cracked. Like we're just enjoying the cool air and the warmth from the fireplace, and it was really nice. And this is the time of year where we get to enjoy that stuff. So
this is also the time of the year that you need to be getting your cords of firewood.
Yes. So we've actually got enough for about half of the year. We need to re-up a little bit. But we've got a great guy out of Woodstock, and he'll come and stack some wood for us. And
it's all things Woodstock today.
Yes. So, we got a few thank yous. Big thank you to everybody who helped with Cobb County's Diaper Day, which is today. We're recording on October 28th. So part of this was started by a former Kiwanian with the Kiwanis Club of Marietta. And the goal was to raise 100,000 diapers that would be used to help low income and needy families. All right. We have a little over 8,000 diapers and wipes sitting in my classroom right now because Select Realty has been the drop zone for everybody who has ordered on the Kiwanis Club's Amazon wish list. So it's all come here, and we've kept our tallies and got it all organized. Later this afternoon after the recording, we're going to have the rest of the committee come, collect all the boxes, and go drop them off at Cobb EMC where they'll be used throughout the year to help families.
They look like little students at their desks.
Oh yeah, because I've got little tiny desks. It's a classroom, so they're individual desks, and I have piles on each desk of different sizes of diapers. So, yeah, keeps it off the floor. But huge shout out to Marietta, Kiwanis Club of Marietta for all the great work that they've done with this, and for everybody who has made a donation, because this is going to go to support some really good, positive things in our community.
Lots of bums.
Yep. So we'll be loading that up this afternoon and bringing it over to Cobb EMC. Speaking of community spirit,
there is so much going on.
There's so much going on.
So Saturday, November 1st, that's the Taste of Kennesaw. We mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
And that's 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. downtown Kennesaw at 2829 Cherokee Street. 30 plus local restaurants are going to be there. Live music, 2 stages, a kids zone, samples from $1 to $10. I don't know of a $10 sample.
Well, I think it depends. Some will be selling plates, some will be selling samples. So yeah, it depends on what you get. So
you have to pay for the food because the admission's free.
Yes.
But that makes sense. More information's at kennesaw.com/taste-of-Kennesaw.
We'll have the links in the show notes.
And there's also a beer and wine fest. That's the Acworth Craft Beer and Wine Fest, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Logan Farm Park, 4405 Cherokee Street, Acworth. They will have over 100 craft beers and wines, live music.
Leave the kids at home for this one. It's 21 and up only, folks.
Yes. This one you should, you don't need to, but you should get tickets beforehand. Acworth.com/craft-beer-fest is the link to go there. We have some really important things coming up as well on the 8th, right?
Yeah.
Saturday?
So
1 week after that.
So Veterans Day is celebrated on the 11th, but it seems like most of the cities are celebrating on Saturday, November 8th this year. So the first one, Marietta Square is going to have its Veterans Memorial 5K, which is a 7:30 a.m. start. And then at 8:30, they'll have the Tot Trot for the little kids to get out there and run around. This is at historic Marietta Square. Usually you got to pre-register for the runs, so you can find more information on marietta.com/veterans-memorial-5K. Again, all links will be included in the show notes, so just go and look there. After that, Céline, there's something we're going to be doing too.
We are going to be in the Marietta Veterans Day Parade. It starts at 10:40 a.m. downtown Marietta to Glover Park. Glover Park is the square, the greenery square part. And this is special to me. My dad is a Vietnam veteran and Purple Heart recipient, as well as a couple of stars and Bronze Stars, and I made a giant quilt of valor for him.
It's really cool and pretty.
Thank you. So made it in conjunction for a project for Children of the American Revolution, and on the back it has his information on where he served, when he served,
the medals he received.
Yeah, so I had it printed on fabric itself. And what's even cooler is that there's a dedication on the back that is dedicated to him, when it was awarded, and by whom. And it has a picture of all these precious little children holding the quilt top before it got quilted on the back, including his grandchildren.
And he doesn't know this yet, and he doesn't listen to the show, so I doubt he's going to find out. But if you know our father-in-law and you listen to the show, don't tell him. So
at this parade, he has no idea he's going to be in the parade. We are going to surprise him with the quilt. And I can't wait, because we're pulling the kids out of school for this. This is a big deal for us. And unbeknownst to him, we're going to stick him in our trailer and then do the parade route with him in it. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully he's going to remember this.
I think he will. So we're Victor's been in the parade before. It's been, 6 or 7 years, but I drove him before. So it's not the first time he's done it. So hopefully he won't suspect anything. But before the parade starts, we're going to honor him with the quilt. It's Quilt of Valor is the name of it, right?
Quilt of Valor. It's an actual organization.
There's a real project called Quilts of Valor, and their goal is to make quilts and then donate them and honor veterans with them.
Yes. So on the middle, he has this giant eagle, because I love birds, and I thought, why not?
America.
Eagle with the flag, right? And then I made traditional quilt squares that border this panel in alternating kind of stars versus red, white, and blue motifs. So it's very patriotic once you look at it.
Yep. So we'll get out there early, do all of our photos, do the presentation, and then the parade comes down Roswell Street. So it starts, we're going to all stage at Roswell Street Baptist. We'll start right around there and then head down Roswell Street towards the square. And then we do a loop around Glover Park. So we come in from Roswell Street. We go, last year they did it straight. Mm-hmm. And then we went counterclockwise around the square. I don't know what the route will be this year, but last year it went around, and then we came back down, was that Lawrence or Lemon there?
Lemon.
On the other side of the courthouse. Yeah. So it was North Park, whatever that turns into when you go straight. So that's going to be a great event. That is the Marietta Veterans Day Parade. That's going to be on November 8th, which is a Saturday. On November 11th, Acworth is having their Veterans Day ceremony from 2 to 3 p.m., and that's going to be at Patriots Point at Cobble Park, which is 4425 Beach Street. More information on the ceremony and honoring, and the details are going to be on acworth.com/veterans-day-ceremony. Again, all these links in the show notes.
Then we're getting into Thanksgiving season.
Goodness, we're talking about Thanksgiving. Halloween hasn't even happened yet. That's still a few days away. Jeez.
Well, anyways.
But we got some fun traditions here.
On Thanksgiving Day, November 27th, the Gobble Dog is coming back.
Yay!
This is such a cute name,
It
Gobble
is.
Dog. I can see our kids running down, gobble, 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 running around.
I can see Claire doing that.
I can too. This is at 7:30 a.m. The final event, though, is at 10:30 a.m. at Marietta Square. There is a variety to choose from. 10K, 5K, 1K, and the Tot Trot races, all benefiting Must Ministries. We can go to
Marietta.com/gobble-jog, Gobble.
Have you ever seen a Trot Tot? Because I could see these
Trot Tot? Yeah, I have. It's hilarious. They're like little, they barely can walk, some of them. And they're just like, it's very small.
It's been
a while since I've done a 5K. Yeah. My knee does not like running anymore, so the days of 5Ks are gone from me, I think.
Well, you know what happens right after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. We unload Christmas trees.
Thanksgiving Day parade.
The big guy in the red hat.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that is the tree lighting at the Battery, Atlanta. That's November 29th, Saturday again. Festivities begin mid-afternoon, and the lighting is at 7 p.m. because it's not dark at noon.
True.
Yeah.
True. By the way, we've got, speaking of darkness, daylight savings is coming up on the 2nd. So we wouldn't be good real estate agents if we didn't tell you to set your clocks back. I mean, just don't forget about that. Fall back. Battery Atlanta, tree lighting. It also kicks off the holiday season, so Black Friday we'll probably be at church unloading Christmas trees for our annual Christmas tree sale, which I haven't been heavily involved in that for the last few years, but we have raised well over $100,000 for local charities doing that Christmas tree sale, and that's at St. Anne in East Cobb. And that sale will start on Black Friday at 10 a.m. historically. They may start it at Saturday. I got to look and see what this year's schedule is going to be. But
for all of us procrastinators, not in the tree department in our family because you do the Christmas trees.
Yeah, every year.
But for people who buy fresh trees, when is the latest you should be buying this?
So
you sell out.
Yeah. All right, here's the deal with fresh Christmas trees. Buying them at like a big box store, you don't know when they're cut. Like they're cut before Thanksgiving. They're going to be sitting in that tractor trailer for a few days, waiting for the employees to break it down and then put them out for sale. With local charities, we buy our trees directly from the tree farm. So we have a lot more control over when they're cut and kind of the freshness with it. Also the type of tree.
And yours comes from North Carolina.
In years past, I'm not on the committee this year, so I don't know exactly what they're doing, but we haven't changed our tree farm. We changed it once, and that's because, one, we're not a business. So I'm sure it's the same place. We get them from Sparta, North Carolina. We get Fraser fir trees, and we can get them from 7 foot to 15 feet, and we will get some of the big ones too. The thing with trees is when we get them, we hire the delivery crews, so they go up the day before, they load up the trees, and then they are delivered the next morning, usually Black Friday. So they'll have the trucks ready on Thanksgiving. The guys will go get the trucks, they'll hook up to the bed, bring it down, and then go back up the next day. So we're getting them really fresh. When you get a tree from us, it's probably been cut less than 48 hours when we initially get them. And then those trees are good for, a couple of weeks. When you buy from us, we will actually chop like a little bit off of the bottom to kind of open it up and help the roots like suck up the water.
But when do you sell out of all this?
Our sales run like 10 days. So we'll start Black Friday, and then within 2 weeks, we're usually done.
It's a lot faster than you think.
We've never gone more than 16 days. And most of the big ones are sold in the first weekend. Sometimes we've gotten 2 deliveries. Sometimes we get 1. I don't know what the guys who are running it this year have scheduled. But there's lots of places to get your trees from. I just like the idea of the money that we go towards the Christmas tree goes back into charity. So
it smells so good.
It really does.
And what you can do is you can take those leftover branches and make a wreath out of them too if you're crafty.
As a matter of fact, we have a lot of people who will come by the church and just ask to grab clippings.
Yeah.
And we're A-okay with it because it's less that we have to clean up. We keep a big pile throughout the Christmas tree sale.
And it's reused for a swag or something, right? On top of the mantle. It looks gorgeous.
People have made garland out of it. They've made wreaths out of it. They've made little craft projects. We'll have... there's like some senior homes that they'll have some people come in and just grab some stuff. They'll do like crafts with the seniors. Same thing. We have preschool teachers that do the same thing. They'll come by and grab clippings for their class.
Everyone can use it.
You want it.
But you find the needles everywhere.
God bless teachers who are doing crafts with pine and the sap and the stickiness. I love it.
Last week I'm pretty sure I saw pine needles in our shower.
Oh, no, you did. You totally did. That's because our kids go outside and don't wear shoes.
She was crafting with them. Did you know?
Oh, is that what she was doing?
Yeah.
Of course. That must be the littlest one. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of great options for fall. If you head to any of the events, tag us. You can find me on Instagram at Real Chris Evans or East Cobb Evans on Facebook and YouTube. we'd love to feature your photos or include them in our next episode. So all event links are in the show notes. Get out there, have a great time, enjoy some weather. Hopefully the rain will be gone by then.
Yeah, it has been rainy. I mean, this hurricane that came in, I don't remember its name. Do you?
It hasn't landed yet. No, I don't know.
It's supposed to be.
It's hitting Jamaica today, and
you were telling me that it's the strongest recorded.
Some headline, said that it was supposed to be the strongest hurricane to ever hit Jamaica.
So when you look on the
Hurricane Melissa is what's going on right now.
Yeah, when you look at the radar, you have the blues and greens and yellows and reds. Now, this thing is purple in the middle.
Purple and black.
I've never seen purple and black. Like, they ran out of colors.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong storm. So, prayers to everybody who's in its wake, and hopefully nobody gets hurt.
We do have a drought, though, so that's really nice that we've been getting that. Mm-hmm. Not nice for them, though, so prayers for you. So
we've been talking about real estate being a little bit busier than normal this time of year. Let's kind of go through a couple of trends and what we're seeing. And then we're going to talk about, we'll get into our little spotlight and talk about a great little neighborhood in Woodstock. Some of the comments that I've been getting from sellers and buyers are that they can't wait anymore. A lot of people are saying, we can't wait. Either life is pushing them in that direction, or they're just tired. Yeah, in one way or another, I'm hearing that message is that we can't hold on. We've got to do this now. There's no alternative. We've got to do it for either the quality of our life or sanity, circumstances, commute. Legally, you have to. And divorce cases, you have relocation cases that happen, and you just have to. So I'm hearing that more and more. That might be contributing to our fall inventory that's been pretty steady. So our inventory is higher, right? No mistake about it. Well, compared to last year, yes. But historically speaking, we have more months supply than we would like to. It's not because there's more homes on the market. It's because there's fewer buyers taking those homes off the market. So it's taking longer. We're starting to see some of the benefits from the recent rate cut trickle its way through. And I think that's what's prompting a lot of these buyers and sellers to actually make the moves this fall instead of waiting until the spring. So there's lots of people out there, and they are looking and they are waiting for that right property to come and find them. So the open houses that we've been holding are bringing people in. Last year, I would wager that if I did an open house, I'd be lucky to have one person come in. This year, I'm starting to see, multiple open house days of 5, 6 groups coming through. And recently I've only had one open house day where nobody showed up. I've had open house guests in every single day and multiple guests per day. So buyers are out there. Even if they're not touring with their agent, they are going and looking at the homes that are coming on the market. Mm-hmm. It also is hyper-local, too. It depends on where you are, because we have some major roadways here. Mm-hmm. We have 575, we have 75, we have 285 that circles all of Atlanta. True arteries. They are. Yeah. If it's like Atlanta is a heart, and then you've got all the roads going towards the center of that heart. But to do anything, you have to be near one of those arteries. Yeah. And it's difficult to get from one artery to a totally different one. There's a totally different market when you get out into counties like Paulding or Douglas, where it's limited access to an artery like that. Most of the county is rural, and they're going to have to drive to get to that highway. A lot of back roads driving. Yeah, you're going to see that values are holding higher, closer to the metro and closer to those arteries, than you're going to see in like Douglasville, Dallas, further out. You'll see that you're oftentimes going to get a better deal. You'll negotiate more favorably, and likely be open to some additional loan types when you get into more sparsely populated areas like those. When you're in, say, Cherokee County, which, by the way, Cherokee and Gwinnett are projected to be 2 of the top 10 fastest growing counties in the state of Georgia over the next decade. So Woodstock falling into Cherokee, I mean, we're not seeing any signs of slowing there. There's so much opportunity. There's so much land. There's so much of the population that's moving into Cherokee County as they're going north, because they're skipping Cobb, because Cobb is established and it's high cost of living, and they're going into Cherokee, following those arteries. Because now we have the HOT lane, which gives a much easier commute. As a matter of fact, we have a property for sale right on Sixes Road right now in Canton, and that home is great because you're a 4-minute commute. You're 4 minutes down the street to 575, and as soon as you get there, hop on 575, just merge right over, and then you get the start of the HOT lane, so you can bypass all the traffic coming in. And that area between kind of Sixes and 575, you're dealing with all that traffic. So it's a really great benefit that a lot of folks are using now. The motivated sellers, we've got folks that have to move, they're moving. And then we've got a lot of divorces, right? One of our listings is a divorce situation where we have to sell the home. That one closes soon, so we're excited to get that one in the books. Woodstock, Kennesaw, and Acworth are all maintaining strong demand due to the 575 corridor, the industries that are around those areas. So you've got Town Center, the CID there, which is a community improvement district. It's a self-taxing district that the tax goes back into redeveloping that area. So we're going to see a lot of growth there. We've got 600 homes going in right around that town center area on Bells Ferry.
There's a lot of kids in schools there.
Looking at a new racetrack coming into the Bells Ferry intersection. So we'll see how that.
The gas station.
Yes, the gas station racetrack at the intersection of Bells Ferry and Bear Parkway. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think, mortgage rates came down. We're hovering around 5.75 for a top tier credit with our local lender. So I think as that continues to decline, we're going to see more people coming in. But this recent rate cut is it's given a little boost to the market. So we're seeing a little uptick. It's going to push us through the holidays and probably keep us working very busy. if all goes well, right? Yeah.
So when people talk about closing costs, this actually came up in a deal that I was working on this morning.
Okay.
And the question was, what are closing costs? What's the basics of them? Closing costs are the costs that are associated with the action of purchasing a home. Mm-hmm. Lender fees, titles, search fees, escrow,
closing attorney, filing fees with the state, intangible tax.
So I had to explain this morning that it's on the buyer's side to pay for these items in Georgia. Mm-hmm. But in negotiation, you can contribute and help them out with a certain amount if you negotiate on it.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the contracts that I'm seeing right now do have contributions to closing costs from the seller. People saying, yes, we're all cash strapped. We need to help each other out. So I'm not seeing the prices go up. I'm seeing that go up a little bit more.
The sales price has come down because the concessions have gone up. We haven't seen a lot of movement on that sales price. Right, we're probably down 2%, or maybe we're at like a 1% growth for the year, depending upon your neighborhood. But what we're seeing is, instead of giving full price and paying $50,000 over because there's so much competition, now you might give almost full price and then ask for $10,000 or $15,000 towards your closing costs. The way closing costs work is the seller pays for basically two things. They pay their prorated share of property taxes if the property tax bill hasn't been paid yet, and they pay for the commissions. The rest of the stuff that they pay, it's payoff on their mortgage, but they're not buying the house. The buyer is. The buyer in the state of Georgia assumes all of the costs associated with that purchase transaction. So these are things like the cost for the closing attorney, your origination fees for your loan, the intangibles tax that you pay when you take out a loan, the transfer tax that you pay for buying a house. There's a lot that go into it. And all of these fees come all the way down to overnight fees, wire fees for sending documents out. So it's a big settlement statement when you buy a house. When you're negotiating, as you mentioned, because the seller doesn't pay these items, you're not negotiating to say, well, the seller's going to pay for this, this, and this, and this. It's not the way it works. We just negotiate a monetary concession that will get paid to the buyer, and then the buyer pays those fees. So kind of how it works here. A lot of folks coming from other states, sometimes they ask that question as well.
Yeah, it really depends on the state. Another question that is somewhat related to this with lending, but this came up last night in a conversation that we had with a client, and we were talking about rate buy-downs. And I don't think a lot of people know what rate buy-downs are or what you can do to motivate the buyer to go with your house rather than another house. It's another, I guess, flavor of enticement, you could say. Yeah,
I think this came up. Rob was working with one of our sellers who's a builder. They've got a new construction, so they're putting together like an incentive for the buyer. And the way this works, look, money doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't. Like when you're getting a loan, there's so much money that they're making, and then they can spend it. However, what can happen sometimes is that there might be a fraction of a point higher. And then what they're going to do is they're going to take that money that's going to be collected by the loan over the life of it and give that back to you as an incentive. So that might mean that you're going to get a $5,000 closing cost allowance. And that could be used either to pay for some of those closing costs that we were just discussing.
Peninsula.
So... Yeah, let me just laugh straight into my microphone and distort all the audio.
It's a word you can't say.
Yeah. So where was it? When you get into lender credits as incentives, you only get them when you use that builder's lender. So if you're going to Pulte or any of the builders out there, and you walk in and you say, "What are your incentives?" They're going to give you the lender incentives. They're going to say, "You use our lender, we're going to give you this much money." And they do that because they have prearranged. Like, they just work it out. So with buy downs, when you get that $5,000 from the lender, you can use it towards your closing costs, or you can buy your rate down, which means we're essentially going to prepay interest. And just like rates with your loan, the amount that you get for your buy down varies in all different markets. For example, buy downs are usually charged by points. 1 point equals 1% of the loan. So if you have a $300,000 loan, 1 point is $3,000. If you want to take a $5,000 credit and apply $2,000 towards your closing costs and apply $3,000 in a 1 point buy down, you're going to take whatever the market rate is that you qualify, and you're going to get a lower rate. Maybe you get a 0.5 point buy down on your interest rate for every 1 point that you're charged.
So when you say a 2-1 buy down, what does that mean?
So in a 2-1 buy down, let's say it costs $3,000. It's a $300,000 loan. 1 point is, let's say, there's two different types of buy downs. In a 2-1 buy down, let's say it's 1 point for a 2-1 buy down, your normal interest rate might be 5.75. In a 2-1 buy down, you're getting a 2 point deduction for the first year, and then a 1 point reduction for the second year, and then it goes back up to the normal rate. So you have an introductory period to that loan. So your first year would be at a 3.75% interest rate. Your second year would ratchet up to a 4.75% interest rate. And your third year would then be your contract rate with the loan at 5.75. People would do this. This is a common question. Well, why would anybody do that? Why does anybody want a changing rate? Well, if you think that rates are going to continue to decline between now and 2 years from now, and you think that rates are going to be lower than 5.75 in 2027, well, you can come do your 2-1 buy down for $3,000. You want to calculate how much it's going to save you. Usually your break-even point with a 2-1 is right around 18 months. So if you think that you're going to have the property longer than 18 months, but you're not going to do a refinance, you don't think that interest rates are going to drop lower than that in 18 months, you would do it. Because the period after 18 months to the 24-month period, that's where you make your money back. So you're saving and you're getting your money's worth at the buy down there. The other option is a permanent buy down. A permanent buy down is we're not going from 5.75 to 3.75 and then up to 4.75 before back. In a permanent buy down, it might be a half a point. You might go from 5.75 to 5.25 for 1 full basis point, or for 1 point in the buy down. So that $3,000 is going to save you 50 basis points indefinitely. This is locked in for the 30 years of the note, or 15 or 25, whatever you're doing. To calculate whether or not this makes sense or not, you want to calculate the difference in your monthly payment and then divide that by 12. Or the difference in your annual payment, divide that by 12, and then find out how many months, that's your 1 month, and then take your cost of your buy down, your $3,000, and divide it by that monthly savings. That will tell you how many months it will take before you're in the black. So if you spend $3,000 to save $200 a month, we're looking at, 15 months would be your break even? So this is when you're doing I know this is getting really into the weeds and this is not fun to listen to.
No.
But basically you're going to calculate the savings and then figure out how much you save per month.
But you know who would love to talk about this all day long?
Rob Doer.
Rob Doer.
Yeah.
He is easily reachable. We have his contact on our website.
And if you need a lender, we'll put you in touch with him, and happy to have that conversation with you off of the show. Just know, we know how to calculate it and we know how to tell you when you break even and how much you're going to make. It's a lot harder to explain that, especially when I don't have a whiteboard and you're driving in your car.
Well, there are many people like me who are not business majors or accounting or anything of that sort. I was a science major, so
all you need to know is we got your back on this one. If you want to know about buy downs and saving money, like we've been there, we've done it, and we can help you calculate and figure out what makes sense for you.
Also, rates and monthly payments, they really depend on your situation.
Yeah.
So you can't just ask a neighbor, hey, what'd you get on yours? You don't know if they have really great credit or really bad credit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare.
Yeah.
You have to get one for yourself. It's about you. It's like going to the dentist and saying, what did my neighbor get?
Yeah.
But they're your teeth, not theirs.
Your dad just had a few root canals. It's like, I'm not going to the dentist and pretending to be him.
Right.
I don't want that. Anyway, all right. So we mentioned we've been busy. We've got a new listing coming up, and we're going to do a little spotlight on this neighborhood because I think it's a little gem. So we're going to talk about the Woodland community in Woodstock, Georgia.
I got to go here for the first time this morning. It was charming.
Yeah.
And when you first go in there, it's this, you get the sense of these are really well built.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Well, the community is made up of two neighborhoods. So you have Woodland Enclave and Woodland Cove. And this is in Woodstock. It's right off of Barnes Road, right where it intersects with Trickham, just south of Arnold Mill. What I love about this neighborhood is in the Enclave, which is on the left side, so you turn right onto Barnes, you turn left into the Enclave, This is where your swim tennis are, right? It's a swim tennis community, HOA, they take care of everything. And the enclave is 2-story traditional homes. Across the street here in Woodland Cove, a little different. We've got a little gem because it's a community of ranch homes, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. These are all built in like 2014 to 2015 by Pulte Homes, so it's reputable builder. As a matter of fact, they were building in 2014 and 2015 because this is when the rebound happened. So everybody came in and they were building to build back after the recession.
They didn't do a good job because there's still a 10-year deficit.
Well, that's not today's show's topic, but I can do an hour on that. With this neighborhood, they had kind of come back in. This is a really great time for building. We didn't have many recalled products. I think there were only 2 that came out in that time period. You had one version of PEX, and then you had Atlas Chalet shingles, which were a little earlier. So the 2014-2015 window, most of those, we don't have any real big recalls. So the quality of the material that were put into the homes at this time were very good.
A big one would be the electrical panel.
Well, no issues on electrical.
Not during this time, but that's an example of an older home, a big recall problem.
So every generation has its own problems with homes. If you go back to the 80s, you had polybutylene plumbing, and you had defective, I forget the name brand, I think they were Challenger.
Goodman or something? No.
Well, I don't know the name of the brand, but there was an electrical panel that intentionally tripped. Basically, they falsified their FCC testing on the breakers, and they didn't really work. So caused a lot of house fires. Those were a problem. Getting into the 90s, you have the GP and LP siding, still dealing with polybutylene from the 80s. Then you get into...
Stucco, EVIS.
That was not a product problem. There were no recalls on that. That was an installation problem.
Still a problem.
Funny enough. But yeah, EFIS can be an issue depending upon how it was installed and when it was applied, which is synthetic stucco. Mm-hmm. And then into the 2000s, you get into like the Atlas Chalet shingles. There was one of the PEX versions had a recall to it. But our building products, for the most part, have been really top notch the last decade or so. We haven't had anything big.
I rode with you today, and then I turned into the neighborhood, and they looked really well built.
Yeah. So what's lovely about this neighborhood is it's really close to downtown Woodstock, right? You're right there at Trickham and Arnold Mill. You go up, turn left on Arnold Mill, you're 10 minutes to downtown, where they've just built a new 600-car parking deck right next to the amphitheater. There's lots of dining, and it's just a vibrant scene. So if you like being out, walking around, going to local shops or shows, this is a great option for you. The neighborhood is basically right off of 575. So it's minutes to downtown Woodstock. You're close to Old Rope Mill Park. You're close to the outlet shops. You're convenient.
There's healthcare there too, close by.
There's tons of healthcare. Yes. You've got North Side Cherokee, right, like an exit or two up 575. It's very close to 92, so if you wanted to go to Alpharetta or Roswell, you're just minutes away from that. You're minutes to Marietta.
Kennestone
Hospital. Yeah, so you're probably about 20 minutes to downtown Roswell. You're 10 minutes to downtown Woodstock from this location. So prime location. It's not overly traffic heavy, right? When you get down Trickham, it kind of thins out a little bit. You get into that residential area. Mm-hmm. So you're not dealing with insane traffic around the house. It is sidewalk line streets. Everything is flat. The reason I love this, and I've sold here multiple times. So some of my clients bought here because in their words, it's like a 55 plus community without the restrictions.
What do you mean?
So senior living is very hard to come by in Georgia because the demand is there now, but it hasn't always been there, right? Think about how big the boomer generation is. And Cobb County and Cherokee and, as land gets more scarce, the ability to build ranch homes gets harder and harder and harder. So like in East Cobb, for seniors who want to downsize from, a large multi-floor home to a smaller ranch, it's not easy to find. You're not going to find a ranch built after 2000. It's almost impossible. Most of them were built in the 70s and 80s, and we lucked out and found one for Mom that was built in 99. And that was one of 2 homes in the entire neighborhood that were ranches built in 99. So there's not much to choose from. So they put a lot of senior housing kind of out into Cherokee County. So a lot of folks from East Cobb are moving to Cherokee as they age and go into senior housing. But what's nice about this neighborhood, Woodland Cove, is you don't have deed restrictions. In fair housing, we don't discriminate on any protected class, including age, except age is the one category that has that little asterisk with it, because there are times when you can discriminate on age if it is a legal requirement of ownership in the neighborhood. So you can have 2 types of senior communities. A 55 plus community is one where 80% of the community needs to be 55 years of age or older. So if the neighborhood is at 79% or 70%, or let's say they're at 81% and you want to move in and you're 60 and your spouse is 55, or you're 55 and your spouse is 50, well, you might not be able to buy if it is going to make that percentage fall below the minimum threshold, right? Because there are federal regulations in senior housing. So you can't just build a neighborhood, slap up a sign and say we're senior housing only. There are actual regulations that fall into place here, and this is what makes it so that you can actually discriminate. And then you have the 60 plus or 65 plus communities, and those have to be 100% over that age. Think the Villages, right, in Florida, the big famous one where the whole retirement community is a city.
What if you're 65 at heart?
I feel like that, but that's not how it works. You can't say that you're something you're not and then just allow the government to give you benefits for it. Take that how you will.
That's mortgage fraud if you do, right?
If you say something you're not and you let the government give you benefits for it, that could be mortgage fraud.
Don't do
if it was housing related,
Don't do that.
You are what you are. So, in this neighborhood, what I love about it, everything's flat. Okay, so
I noticed that. It's so walkable.
The whole neighborhood is flat.
Yeah.
You can walk the whole thing. Sidewalks everywhere.
And that is so crazy in Georgia.
It is. It's almost impossible to find a neighborhood with that much, because there's probably, 60, 65 homes in there. That would be my guess. It's like 4 streets, circular on the outside, and then you get a few kind of the cut through.
Yeah.
It's part of the same community. So everybody who lives in Woodland Cove has access to the swim tennis in Woodland Enclave right across the street. So you just drive up to the entrance, drive straight across Barnes into the neighborhood, and then boom, right to the facilities.
And really, when I was there, I had to work in the car while you were inside the home. Meeting our client. So I was watching the roads and there wasn't much activity. It's really quiet there.
Just a bunch of people walking around.
That's it. I mean, I can't hear them, right? Unless they're Godzilla smashing around.
So the nice thing here, all the architecture is consistent. There are 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom units. You're not going to find a 4-bedroom. They don't exist. They're between 1,800 to 2,300 square feet. Some of the units will have a room in the attic that's been finished out, and they'll have walk upstairs. Some of the units will have the framing in the attic for a future room, and some of them will just have large attic storage that has all the flooring installed and it's ready to go.
Traditional and craftsman style is what I saw.
Yes, for the most part, it's a craftsman neighborhood, very popular with what was being built in 2014 coming out of the recession. You remember Brandon's first house, all craftsman, everything that was going up in Athens was craftsman. Yeah,
it was everything.
Everything was craftsman back in like 2014. So we're seeing that. It was before the farmhouse trend. So these are 10-year-old homes. Right, the roofs are still in great shape. A lot of the systems have been updated since, so you can get kind of a home that doesn't need a lot of maintenance. And a lot of them have been very minimally used. Now, some of them have been heavily used. Like one we sold in there, God, our clients did such an amazing job. But there was heavy cat odor when they bought, and we had to negotiate that down. That's the word of the day today. But now they've gone through and redone all the flooring. They redid their kitchen, the cabinetry.
That is understandable, though. Because
yeah.
As I went to that school.
But they're also sitting on tons of equity now, which is really nice because I looked up the valuations. So the 2 bedrooms kind of go in the low 5s and the 3 bedrooms go in the high 5s. And we have a home that's going to be coming to market. It is a 2-bedroom. We were out there today because we were meeting with one of our contractors, introducing him to the owner. And this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 1 bedroom is towards the front of the house, 1 bedroom towards the back. Also has a bonus room used as an office/library with some glass French doors. Wide open living and kitchen area, sunroom off the back with the ability to do what our clients did, which is to enclose the porch. Has a fenced backyard, enclosed porch. And all of the homes are very cookie cutter, so they're all very well maintained. Some of them have some exterior features that others don't, like archways, but it's very easy to add and upgrade to it. So the open concept is kind of a big thing in these homes, and these have it, right? They have the wide doorways, so if mobility becomes an issue, like in a lot of senior living, this is already set up. So you're one level as it is. We watched our client get around with his walker today, and it was, no issues with bumping into walls. I've been in homes before where somebody has to go into a wheelchair and the house gets so damaged. The floor gets torn up. The
wheelchair?
Yeah, especially power wheelchairs. Those things are really, they're really powerful. Like they will nick up walls. They will damage. It's not as big of an issue in newer homes. I'm talking about older homes where you have a 30 or 36 inch hallway instead of like a 40 or 48, which is more common now. So you're getting into areas where it's tighter to turn. I've dealt with a lot of old senior condos that had this, and you'd have to go in and do a lot of work to redo all the flooring. They had the old linoleum that they would roll out, which would just chip up. What I like about this is that all of these homes, very quality material throughout it. So you go in, you feel like it's a well-built home.
Yeah, the yards are really nice and maintained too, but it's not so big to where you feel daunted.
And the best part about that with the yards is that all of the landscaping is included in the HOA. So like 55 plus, you don't want to take care of your home when you're at that age. You don't want to be pushing a lawnmower around when you need one level living. Right now, this is a community association disclosure for one that's currently for sale in the neighborhood. There is 125, so that's 11, 1250. So 1750 is the HOA for the first year, and then it's 1125 thereafter. So under $100 a month, they take care of all of the lawn. So that's more than we pay in lawn care per month. And they've got it set up so it's under $100. So that's fantastic.
You mean it's less than we pay?
It's less than we pay.
You said more, so.
We pay more than that, just for lawn care. So this is great. It's pool, tennis courts, all common area utilities, grounds maintenance are taken care of, plus landscaping. So they're gonna mow the lawns, they're gonna take care of the bushes, they're gonna do everything for you so you don't have to. And this is kind of going in here, our clients thought this was gonna be the last place they would ever go. He has a very long life expectancy, apparently. So they're not exactly happy to be moving, but they need to go to additional services. So we're excited to bring the home to market in here. There's a few other things here. So not only it's a close-knit feel, all the neighbors, every time I'm there, they're outside talking to each other. And the great thing about this here is if you lived in this area, here's something that you could do in a day, right? You can grab a coffee, hit the Green Prince Trail, or you can go for a leisurely bike ride through Old Road Milk Park. I think they're still doing the bike rentals out there. You can run your errands, hit the groceries, the gym. Schools are nearby. There's LA Fitness right there.
Pick up your grandkids.
Pick up the grandkids, pick up the kids. Enjoy rooftop dinners, live music downtown. You can go down. There's tons of restaurants there. And then head over to the lake because you're not too far from Lake Allatoona. So if you wanted to go out and explore and rent a boat for the weekend, you can do that. You can check out some of the local farmers markets around there or some of the breweries. We got a ton of breweries in downtown Woodstock.
And if you want to travel a little further into Alpharetta or Roswell, you can take I-575 north and south. Mm-hmm. And so you can go to either of those in no time. It's really not just one center, you're close to 3.
Yes, and you're 5 minutes to Publix, Kroger, tons of shopping. Gustin's restaurant is over there.
I like the tea room. Jeff's
yes,
tea room.
yeah, that's right. That is right there.
Yeah.
Traffic is never fun in Georgia. It's worse in other places than it is here, so you got that going for you. Long-term value is huge. We bought in here a year and a half ago, and that was in the low 5s, and now those homes are in the high 5s. So there's a lot of value going there. It's in an area that is growing. Population is influx is growing in Woodstock and Cherokee County, so it's going to continue to grow. It is a younger county.
Young families there. Even though this is 55 plus, I mean, there are tons of them.
Well, it's not. Anybody could buy this home.
Right.
Anybody could buy this, and they could live in it because there's no restrictions, which is nice. Because a lot of these communities, like if you wanted to buy here at 40, you could live there, do whatever, hang out, enjoy one level living. But
you have to make sure that you check for rental restrictions, because if you think about an investing thing, you might not be able to.
Yeah, some neighborhoods do have rental restrictions. So I haven't gotten that far into this one yet. I haven't read the bylaws for Woodland Cove. But in neighborhoods like this, it's usually about 25%. So some tips. So if you're interested, if you're in buying a property in an HOA, you want to verify the HOA details first. Covenants and resale activity. What I was just saying, I haven't read the bylaws. So
that was step 2 for today.
Yeah. In any situation where you're buying a house, you want to review the actual documents, the organizational documents that said this is how the HOA has to run. They're on file with the government. Your closing attorney can pull them for you. So can your realtor, if they know how to do it. And review it. Know what you're getting into. If the document says that trash cans can't be kept in view and the neighborhood is just not enforcing it now, you need to know that, hey, there's a chance trash cans will be enforced in the future and I am going to have to build something to hide it. Or I'm going to have to deal with an HOA who's constantly assessing me fees and I'm going to have to pay it or get my house foreclosed on. If you don't like HOAs, just go to Reddit and read all about them. There's nightmare stories. So you're going to look through this stuff in due diligence. Make sure it's a place you want to be. Check your lighting, noise, traffic patterns. Go and visit the house in the neighborhood different times a day. You don't have to go to the house with your realtor unless you're going inside. If you want to just drive through the neighborhood, check it out, on the weekend, during rush hour, at night, see what the noise and traffic is like. You can absolutely do that whenever you're thinking about buying a house. So if you're interested in Woodland Cove and you want to know more about it, you can text Woodland to 678-694-7937. And as we get closer to listing, I will make sure to get that sent over to you. With the neighborhood due diligence, not only do you want to drive at different times, but also ask about utilities. What are the average utility bills, the roof age, and insurance costs? Because not all homes in the neighborhood are going to be the same. I know our client today, he was telling us about how he added additional insulation in the garage, over the garage, and in the garage door. So the utility bills might be different house to house. And then run your commute. Get up early one day, go to the house, leave from the house the time that you would normally leave for work, and see what that commute is actually like. So we've had a couple of questions come in recently. Céline, how would you compare two neighborhoods that you're thinking about? If you're trying to compare two neighborhoods, what are some things that you're going to look at to help make a decision on what's best for you?
So me personally, what I would be looking at is the number one thing for me is HOA, yes or no. I personally don't like HOAs. A lot of people do. Depends on who you are. But HOAs do have the power to cause legal issues if you don't abide by them.
They can cause joy or misery, depending upon which side of the fence you live on.
So if you are a free spirit and you like to make your own rules, they're probably not for you. If you are a very straightforward, by the book, this is how you do it type, maybe that is the best place. Not so sure. You would find joy in the straightforwardness of it all, the rigidity of it.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, because to me, in my personal opinion, I like the no HOAs. But then you have to look at the neighborhood as well. The actual neighborhood.
Yeah. Also, age of the neighborhood, because after a certain year, I forget the year, but all new construction neighborhoods that have a certain number of homes must have an HOA in it. This is now Georgia law. So most builders have to build homes with neighborhoods in it or with HOAs unless it's under I think it's got to be under 10 homes or something like that.
Yeah, and I would also look at going with that age thing. I'm not a fan of these group mailboxes that they started putting in. I know there's no way around it.
Buy old.
Yes.
Buy old if you don't like it.
Yeah. So the days of the mailbox in front of your home is gone in a neighborhood, unless you have your own lot and that's your lot, no neighborhood or anything. But if you're in a neighborhood now, you have to have apartment-style mailboxes where people all gather in one central space. This reminds me of when we transitioned from the Victorian times to modern times. Remember those houses where the mailman would go up to the front porch?
And put it in the door?
Yeah.
Yep.
That, I think, or, the little box on the side of the siding. It seemed like a transition when that happened to the mailboxes.
Yeah, when the post workers stopped walking and started driving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they didn't get their steps in anymore. It's too far. It's too hot here too. Yep. In the summertime. And
so, Céline, if you're thinking about a home with or a neighborhood with an HOA, how do you compare two different HOAs?
Amenities as well as the cost and the restrictions.
Okay.
They all factor in. It depends on what you prefer the best or, what's most important to you. But if you are a sedentary potato person, maybe you don't care about a pool or trails. If you are an avid mountain biker, maybe you do care about them, right? So it really depends on who you are and what you're going to use, because you want to make sure that you spend money on stuff that you're actually going to be using unless you want to fund other people's fun.
Great point. Kind of like how when we calculated it earlier, that HOA was under $100 a month and took care of all the lawn care.
That's
but
great.
Then you also get swim and tennis. in our community, like we're not part of an HOA, so we're going to spend about $100 a month on lawn care, and we're not going to have that swim tennis. If we wanted to join swim tennis, that's going to be another $300, $400, $500 for us to go out and join a pool. So you can see right away that in a neighborhood like this with a fee that's structured as it is, you can get more in value than what you're paying for. But conversely, if that fee was $250 a month, I might be able to get a better deal elsewhere. I might be able to get those services and buy them individually and spend less than I would with the HOA. Yeah. So this is why it's important. Whenever I'm working with buyers, I want them to go through the HOA documents. And it's also important to review the financials of the HOA. With an active HOA in a large neighborhood, we like to actually get a copy of their minutes from their meetings.
That reminds me of the dreaded initiation fee.
The dreaded initiation fee. Oh. If you don't fill it out on the contract right, or if you leave it off the contract and you're the seller, the disclosure, you get to pay for it.
Wasn't there was one in Rising Fawn that had an extraordinary initiation fee.
Oh, that was Macklemore. So Macklemore is in Rising Fawn, Georgia. It's this golf destination in northwest Georgia. And basically you can play golf on like Lookout Mountain, and it's like 2 PGA Pro Tour golf courses. It's built by I don't know, like a big PGA Pro guy, and he partnered with John Whelan to make this community. Well, when they made this community, they built it out of nothing there. So one of the fees that you pay is like $400 a month towards your fire station that you just went to build for the neighborhood. Then you have the golf fee, which is like $450 a month, which is mandatory. But if you don't golf, you can sell it to somebody else who will pay that $450 a month. Then you have the HOA for your community, which is going to cover all your benefits. And then you have the master HOA, which is going to cover the next level. And then there's like 3 or 4 other taxes.
Currently.
Yeah. And then there's like 3 or 4 other taxes that are self-assessed just to the community in there. But when you get into a community like that, the people who are living here, these are people who are traveling to Northwest Georgia just to spend a weekend golfing. Like if you are going to rent it out, you're not making money on a rental. It's part of the golf program.
That's fine and all, but what I'm trying to say is that when your initiation fee is $40,000.
Oh, yeah.
That is cash that you have to pay out front. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that initiation fee to determine whether I even want to close on this property. Because then I have to turn right back around, write a check, and then I'm cash poor.
Exactly.
So going back to your question, that is the tiny little spot.
Balancing those amenities versus the costs.
And initiation fee. Yep. Depends on what it is.
Well, I think we've covered a lot in this episode. We're changing to the seasons outside and changing to the topics inside. I think we got a good direction going on right now with the show. Again, everybody who took part in Cobb's Diaper Day, thank you so much for everything that you've done. We're excited to get those diapers into the hands of families who need them. Got a lot going on with work. So we've got some new listings you can follow along. Check selectrealty.com for that. You've got 3 new listings that you're putting up with Simply List today. So, we are active and engaged and working hard here in the community to help folks buy and sell some homes. And if you have questions, we're happy to answer them for you. No commitment. Thanks so much for listening to Georgia Living. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform. We'll see you next week.
Bye.